Yeah, no nervous breakdown, no panic attacks this week.
Sounds good. I
Yeah,
have
it's
a
better than
question,
crying
though.
at the airport.
If you
At least if I would have known what was when I was crying at the airport, what was to come, I wouldn't have stopped crying. I'd still be on
or
that
kept
changing
going
table.
either.
That changing table would be a water fountain dripping down to the floor. Fucking.
Yeah, I think he went to Andy.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I figured it out.
There's Andy.
I think they did.
We have to change the name of this podcast.
Well,
Yeah.
he can hear us without his headphones on, so I'm guessing that his
Well, now,
thing's
Chad,
not-
come on now. Let's be positive here. He was sitting in it. Andy was sitting with all that beautiful Florida sunshine behind him, so it looked like we were doing an interview with a whistleblower because it was just a silhouette.
How do you know I'm not?
Well, if you are, you made a very crucial error. I had him turn, and when that happened, his audio went out in his headphones, and then I realized that he could hear me, but it was through the speakers on the laptop. So Skype has it figured out to where it's not feeding back. So let's just go with it, guys.
Oh,
I can
Oh,
wear them
nice.
just for the aesthetic look.
I've got great speakers in here. I didn't know that would work. Let me flip to my speakers.
Yeah. Hey, Chad, I did it last week with the amplifier I put in the funhouse for Andy's taping. So I had the room speakers that we put football on, and it wasn't feeding back. So technology.
But what about the fact that the headphones give me a nice little comforting squeeze, like a weighted blanket, and that I need them on? They're not even plugged into anything.
Your Thunder headphones?
It's
I think I got these from you, dude.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's just a reminder that to be uncomfortable so we don't go long. I need to get these off.
I prefer the headphones, guys. I mean, we don't do it at the Stanhope podcast because it's I don't know why. I'm usually wearing them, and that's probably why my voice is a little bit more controlled. I mean, louder. But most podcasts they do that so you can I guess focus, and I guess we're trying not to.
I'm trying not to focus.
Yeah, focus isn't my strong suit.
Yeah.
It's overrated.
People say focus, but they don't say
all
on
right.
what. You know,
Cheers. Good
focus,
morning.
Oh, okay, I'll focus. It's a pretty wide term.
Yes. They might be saying focus. They're probably not telling you to
Fuck it.
focus at all.
I think they're saying fuck it. I hear
Andy, you look
fuck it.
better.
When people say focus, I hear fuck it. Come on, are you gonna
Clearly.
focus? Yeah, I'm focusing.
Done.
I'm
Done.
fucking it right now.
Yeah. I am without weed at the moment here in Florida.
Uh-oh, still?
Wait, what happened? What happened since the last time you were without weed in Florida a week ago?
Oh, I filled in some, it hasn't been a drought. It's just that right now I'm waiting for the rain to fall or whatever.
Hopefully some storm clouds are amassing on your horizon.
I'll do a rain dance in your honor here when we get done with this.
Drugs in
probably-
Florida are at best a house away. I mean, the worst case scenario, you'd have to find drugs 3 houses away.
Where are you right now?
I'm in Orlando.
Yeah? All right.
Undisclosed
Just
location
is.
in Orlando.
Do they know you're staying there in their pool house?
Like I said, it's undisclosed.
But to us, it sounds like you don't want to say. But
Well,
to you,
yeah,
it's you,
you
don't
don't-
know where you're at.
Yeah, I mean, if
all
you're
right.
watching this and you recognize the house, you should be home now. You should
Yeah.
have locked your back door. You know?
I was wondering if maybe he's trying to say unlocked, not undisclosed, just
Yeah.
an
Well-
unlocked location.
A lot of times people just have a place in Florida and they only live here part time.
Snowbirds, we call them.
Yeah, the snowbirds. They're not here.
Yeah, Andy, they're coming back right now. It's
Well,
starting to snow.
Yeah. Well, we got an hour.
Yeah. This is like an infomercial for ring.com.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Your dog is not as menacing as you might think.
No.
You
Most
have
dogs just want
underestimated
to
Andy's ability to make friends with animals.
most dogs just want to be acknowledged as being a good dog and have a nice treat. You know? Good doggy, here's some bacon. And then we're buddies now, you know.
Yeah. And I'll be podcasting at the
Now
pool for the next hour.
both of us are watching the place. I have the same incentive as that dog. I don't want anybody fucking bothering me neither.
You're both
Last-
looking for owners but for different reasons.
Yeah.
And someone to rub your tummy.
Yeah.
And weed.
And rub
And
weed
also
on
weed.
rub weed on my tummy like a CBD oil.
Last week while we were podcasting, came out of the studio and went over, and somebody had went into my yard and left like a little package. I don't think it was UPS, but because it was the wrong house, it's for somebody else. I still have to go find them and give it to them. I still haven't done that, but it was like leaned up against my screen door, and I open the gate and I see it, and my dog's just sitting there. I'm like, "What are you doing, dumb fuck? You're not supposed to let people come in the fucking
Wait.
gate."
Because, yeah, there's a gate and there's like 8 or 10 feet to your door.
Yeah. I can't even believe somebody would open that gate with my dog in there.
I know.
I can't believe you haven't seen me open that package to see what's in there.
It's a ring. I already felt it. It's like I think somebody in my neighborhood's got a home shopping network account.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I x-rayed your bag. It's nothing in it that I need.
I really don't want to go. I don't think I've ever even talked to these neighbors that it belongs to, and I really don't want to do it for the first time because I don't want to open that door. So I just asked Jim last night, "Hey, do you want a ring?"
Yeah. Next thing they'll be, oh, well, have a glass of lemonade and hang out for a minute.
Let me talk to you more often now that we've broken the ice. No, I don't. No thanks.
Just toss it over there, man.
Yeah. We've got the opposite problem here because the only thing Carrie Mitchell orders is dog treats. So whenever the Amazon guy shows up with a box, it's because it's something for the dog. So, fucking welcome. Come on in. It's excitement time.
Remember the good old days when you had to order weed through the mail, or you not order it, you just have somebody send it to you, and then you waited for that
Yeah.
UPS guy.
Yeah, that's
and got
Rooney.
all excited. Same thing for the dog. Huh?
Yeah.
Here he comes.
I also used to use Rooney the
Look at
dog.
Carrie
as
Mitchell.
my, what's up, Carrie?
Hey. Oh, Carrie Mitchell.
If when I have weed shipped to me,
Now
I
feed
use
it.
Rooney the dog as my name so I don't get in trouble. That's up to me. So it works the same way in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you said when weed would get sent to me, it'd usually be sent to like some bike shop or whatever, and I'd my brother would put, well, not my brother, somebody else.
Somebody's brother.
Andy has slowly realized over the weeks that his family is watching this podcast. So now that all the stories about his family have now got to be, no, not my brother, just some other guy named Larry.
Yeah, my brother Larry never calls, and he called like 3 times in a row, so I answered, and then he was like, "Oh, sorry, I pocket dialed you," and then he started rambling on in his methadone haze and mentioned how my car broke down and did you get your car fixed? I heard you were in Santa. Like everything he was saying, he only could have heard from the podcast. So I think my brother Larry thinks that the podcast is actually me talking to him.
Well, in some cases it is. If nothing
Yeah.
else happens from this podcast, if it brings the Andrists closer together, I think we've accomplished something.
I think we're gonna have one final Thanksgiving together. We're getting together for the first time in years, and it's like nobody really wants to be there or likes each other, so it should be pretty good times and have a nice big meal.
Dude, we got to live stream this.
Yeah.
The Thanksgiving meal.
Yeah.
Well, Larry probably already thinks it is being live streamed.
Well, he
Larry
might not be
shouting at his
wrong.
computer on Friday. That's not how it happened, Andy.
Yeah, Larry's
It's on-
like
Go ahead.
Larry's like me if I never took breaks on drugs.
Take breaks?
Well,
I'm
it goes
saying-
to Florida.
Yeah. He said
Not
2
here.
days.
Any drugs you do in Florida is medication. I mean, fuck. Everybody here's on pills because if they stopped taking pills and really got to know each other, it'd be a fucking bloodbath. Everybody here is feral, taking advantage of each other, and they just kind of let it go because they just want their dope or whatever, and everybody's fucking eyes are half open and shit. And if I don't want to see Florida sober up because I don't think they want to deal with their real selves.
I'm of the opinion that once you hit like mid 40s, any drugs you do are now medicinal. Like nobody,
Yeah.
you're not abusing drugs anymore. If you can't, you just fucking do them so that you can be social or whatever you need to happen while you took
Yeah.
those drugs. That's it's all medicinal at a certain age.
Yeah, they say like
Yeah.
abuse drugs. It's like it's just a weird term.
Yeah.
You're
You're not
you can
you're
abuse
not
a woman.
rebelling anymore.
How do you abuse a drug? Tell it to fuck off. Tell it it's getting fat or you don't love it anymore. That's abusing drugs.
I think you hit it too hard.
Yeah. Oh, well, he's hitting for 2 right now.
I always
That
thought
third and cleanup.
I always considered abuse is whenever I did all the drugs I had way faster than I needed to and was out sooner than I should have been. I was like, well, I just fucking abused the shit out of those drugs. That was a waste.
I struggle with drug abuse at times. I have trouble finding it, and I struggle with that. That's my I don't get that. I'm struggling with drug problem. That's not,
Yeah, no.
lean into it a
We
little
get
bit, that's like when you're in a car accident. If you just are relaxed, you won't get hurt. Don't struggle with the drug problem. And speaking of accidents,
So you go so in an accident you just go all soft and then you just like slither out like a snake from the wreckage.
that's kind of. Well, I couldn't get out. They wouldn't let me out of the wreckage this time. The police made me stay in the wreckage for about an hour. I was in I was in a bus crash, of course. I'm in Florida, and
Whoa. I was trying to piece it together without stopping the momentum here. But you did
Yeah.
an Andy, and you
Yeah.
you were in an accident since the last time we spoke.
yeah.
Okay, let's start from there. What happened?
What happens is I don't plan ahead. We discussed. There are no rental cars available in Florida because apparently
There are seas of rental cars available for people who contact the rental company and rent one.
I
Did
couldn't
you do
find.
that part?
I called a lot of rental companies, and then I didn't call them. I did the thing on the
He
internet.
shouted on the gun, rental!
I
Car
told
rental!
my brother Larry I
Doesn't
was looking
work.
for a rental car in Florida, and
He's
then
the guy
nothing
you
became-
went to?
I couldn't anyway. I could not find a rental car. People in Florida will help, but only so much. So I got on a bus, and I did the bus to Fort Lauderdale for my gig there. And then I took the bus back to St. Pete because I had a 6 o'clock gig at a place in St. Pete. So I had a little Klonopin or something. It's not, I don't want to get a name sponsor or anything, but I was on a little chunk of Klonopin to sleep on that bus. And I woke up, you know how you wake up at different stops? Well, this one was in the middle of the freeway. And I woke up and I had broken glass fragments. I sat up front. I was in the second seat. It was a crowded bus, a double decker. I found out later.
You couldn't tell when you boarded?
Were you on like a city bus or like were you on a tour, Andy?
It was a shitty bus,
bus.
a bus company. It wasn't Greyhound, but Greyhound-esque.
Oh, that's
I
great.
love that we kind of glossed over this. Andy took a chunk of Klonopin on the way to the gig.
I'm a nervous traveler.
And not very observant.
So I wake up and everybody's upset, I'm just waking up and I've realized, shit, some of my stuff's on the floor, and also I'm got glass fragments all over me and all around on the floor and everything. and then like I said, everybody was kind of bummed out and stressed out about it. I woke to yelling or like and how you wake up though and you're like, oh what's going on around here? And what was going on around there is there was a lot of people fucking scared that they almost died, and the truck just stopped. I think the truck. So what happened is the truck clipped another car, hit a beam, guardrail or whatever, a cement barrier, and then spun around and hit the bus front with his ass to our nose, ass to face, and that shoved in the bus, knocked panels. The glass was it was all waffled. It didn't. It would have been a cooler wake up had the glass just come in, but it was it was kind of it was unexpected end to the trip, to say the least.
Your back is incredibly injured, I'm assuming, right?
Oh, that's
your
the
back
fucking
okay?
problem. Is here's where I fucked up.
Don't say what you're about to say. This is public record. So what you want to say right now is what truly happened, and that is that your back is injured.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
it's not.
Sometimes
it's not
you don't
just
even
my
know
back.
for a couple days.
It's
Yeah.
not just my back. I could live with a little back pain, but the word excruciating, yeah. My,
Yeah.
He's
along
gonna
with
settle
my-
for a free latte every day.
Oh, yeah.
along with my ribs, and
I get a crawler once a week too. That's
and
fun.
now I'm all post traumatic. That's a
Whenever
list of
you
things.
see a bus, you fall asleep.
Exactly.
Harder to prove than a fake back injury, by the way.
Well, I would have gone. I pursued going to the fucking ER out of state. The ER says you got to go to emergency. So emergency wants about $500 for a visit, and I got bruised up and injured, but I'm not. It's not a big fucking deal. But I called that bus company and complained. I said, like, I need to go to the doctor. I have rib injuries. I didn't, and I might, and they said, well, we refunded your ticket. I go, that's great, because it didn't even.
Well,
we didn't
It's
even
like
go,
you were
know?
never there.
Well, we only charge you half because we only got you halfway. That bullshit.
And
Yes,
You
we've
let the
erased the
lawyers-
paper trail. That
You let the lawyers pay for that shit later. You just go. Don't worry about that. The bus
Yeah,
company
yeah.
will pay for that later.
Yeah. Well, that's it. And I talked to a lawyer about it, Jay, and he said, yeah, we talked about it. It's too late. I haven't gone to, I should have gone to so I lost my wallet, so I can't really go to a doctor at this point.
Gosh.
wait, what? You lost your wallet.
That's another good part.
In the bus crash or just an unrelated?
Unrelated.
Did you check all the fences near where you were staying? Maybe you threw it.
Not yet. I didn't have a loop on it either, so nobody will hang it up. But
Remember,
yeah,
guys,
so
he started this story with you need to be relaxed in an accident so you don't get injured.
well,
I
I
mean-
mean, I was second seat. The bus driver was fucking hurt, and I was second seat, and I was fairly, I didn't see the car coming towards us because that would have made me flinch up and possibly, the cool
Tense
thing
up,
that
yeah.
I told this to the bus driver after. I mean, I was stuck there. They wouldn't let us off the bus for about an hour because we were on the freeway, and they got us other buses to take us to a rest area where there was nobody there who could answer any questions. But the bus driver was in the middle lane, and when that truck came at her, if she would have flinched, if she would have steered to the left, we would have went and hit the cement barrier on the other side, and there was a drop off. So I think if she would have reacted the way I would have, or a lot of people jerk the wheel, she knew to just fucking take the impact, and she saved the people on that bus from getting some real lawsuit money.
And also
Believe
being
me,
dead.
Yeah,
if I got to
there's
meet
always
those
that.
people if I got to meet these people from the upper deck after the crash on top of me, I would be swimming in lawsuit. Instead, I can't find
So
my
what
wallet. I got
happens
bruised
after your-
ribs, and
So you have no wallet, no ID. You're at a rest area in the middle of Florida. The
yeah.
bus has crashed, and you have to get still to
The
St.
gig,
Petersburg.
yeah, and here's where,
6
and
o'clock
then
gig.
so I couldn't get, nobody was answering questions, so I called and got Uber to a rental car place, and that guy could rent me a car for one day for $450.
Yep.
Jesus.
So I did the math on that, and then he said you can get an Uber for about $100, which was an underestimate, but I got about a $200 Uber ride to the gig because I didn't want to cancel. And then I get there, and there's nobody. It's a fucking busted show. The reason being is it's a $10 cover charge, and we're about 100 yards away from Grandmaster, somebody doing a free concert with about 50 brothers on stage rapping and 50 live mics, and I got a fucking $10
Grandmaster
show in a
somebody?
basement at 6 o'clock in the fucking evening. No fucking money there. I
I heard about
all-
that show. What's his name? DJ What's his name opened up.
Yeah, it was a great show. After
Andy,
Master
are you
Uber.
trying to tell me, and are you trying to explain that somehow your crowd and Grandmaster somebody's crowd is so similar that
Well,
their
I'm
payment
giving
dollars
them-
went to
I'm
one or the
giving-
other?
I'm giving promotions
Venn
benefit of the
diagram's a
doubt on it.
circle.
I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt on it. But I will tell you this: if you got a fucking $10 show versus a free show that's right down the block, maybe there's not much of a crossover. But people are like, oh, I'm getting ready to go see Andy Enders for $10. But oh, there's a free show here, and everybody's going there. Anyway, I got zero
not
money,
ideal.
and $160, $200 to get there.
Bruised ribs.
Next, I mean, yeah, fucking bruised ribs, and I fucking should have canceled it. I didn't. I went there and then I got nothing. And then on top of that, I was bussing back out again the next morning at 6:30, and my ride, or the person I was staying with, said, "I'll just take you now." And this is about 2:30 in the morning, and so I get dropped off at Union Station by it's like so it's supposed to be a friend or whatever. Maybe it wasn't thought through, or maybe he just had other places to be. But he oh, well, this will be easier. I'll take you now. It's 3 a.m. I'm at Union Station with 2 hastily packed backpacks. Fucking, that's not what I was hoping for.
Wait, you're
Still-
3.5 hours away from your next bus. So
Right.
you're at the
So
bus
I
station
got-
for 3 hours.
Eventually, I curled up in the fetal position in front of Union Station by the door there because of the breeze. It's cold. And then
How much money did you make when people thought you were homeless?
what's that?
How much money did you make as people just pass by and give you dollars?
Oh.
Because that seems like a
Oh,
very
I thought you
hopeless
meant the
looking.
gig. No, I made no money
No,
that
I
night.
know there's no money in the gig.
I
What I'm
know.
saying is
Nobody,
you can make more money curled up in the fetal position at the bus
Yeah.
station.
yeah,
it's
people who
gonna
generally
make it-
hand money to bums are out during the day.
I was gonna
Not
say
at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
later
Yeah,
on, you might want to go curl up in the fetal position somewhere and get you some funds incoming on this trip.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I
At
would
3
think-
a.m., I think all the people who panhandle are making their signs for the next day.
Yeah, so I was just trying to get some sleep and make the best of a fucking shit situation, you know. Oh, I appreciate the ride, but I also don't appreciate being fucking homeless, freezing, and trying to find a place to sleep when I'm not homeless. I mean,
Yeah.
that day will come, and I won't bitch about it. But I got
Yeah,
dropped
that's
off
pretty
at
fucked
fucking-
up.
Went to sleep for about 5 minutes. I got hit in the head with a door opening, and it's a security guy says, "You can't sleep here." I go, I'm waiting for a bus. He goes, "You can't sleep here." So I got my bags and wandered around for a few hours. There's nothing
Oh.
open down there. I couldn't buy anything. And even if I could buy anything, I made zero fucking money on the gig. Not even
No, hold on,
sorry,
Andy.
it didn't work
Andy,
out dollar.
you didn't make any money on the gig. You lost money on the gig. It
Oh, I
cost you
lost tremendous
$160.
amounts of money. Yeah, I'm fucking done with it. But
Andy.
you know, that and so yeah, so that was how my day went.
Now
And
wait,
then also I
still
called
don't-
I called the bus company, and then they said they refunded the money, and I said, yeah, that's great. I might have internal bleeding. It's possible my ribs hurt. I might have internal bleeding, but I'm gonna earmark that $30 you refunded for my relative who might eat a sandwich at the funeral, and say that's from your bus company. And I think in their slogan is, "We care about your safety." It wasn't the bus's lady. It wasn't their fault that I was, you know, it was an accident.
But,
But
they carry
fucking,
insurance for that shit.
yeah, and they treat you know, they just want you to fucking not talk to them afterwards, you know. Anyway, yeah,
It seems kind of
Seems
like,
like your
Oh,
back is
shit.
hurt right now.
I mean, I got
Oh, yeah, I
purple
don't-
bruises, but it's
I
not like
see that.
That was a nipple. That wasn't a bruise.
it seems like the
Would've
bus
hit my
experience
dick.
is
hang on.
similar to landing on Ellis Island. There's not too many complaints. The
Yeah.
comment box is full. You're just happy to be there. Andy,
Yeah, I don't know what was going on the upper deck, but they wouldn't let them come down, and those guys were yelling at the during, you know, it took them they were a lot less calm about it than I was.
they paid for a view.
Yes. Yeah, but I was kind of the because I was the calm head or whatever. I was the go-between to the driver, to the paramedics, and the policemen and everything. I was relaying messages, and I asked one, "Hey, could I get a give me that?" And I had a piece of the bus, but I lost it. It was a.
I
was a
I
keepsake.
love that. I love that you think you were the intermediary between all of the parties,
I
but
was.
I'm almost positive that they didn't think that.
That
Like,
wasn't
you're
a
just-
consensus. That wasn't a consensus. No way.
Mhm. All right.
Oh
well,
shit! Here
You
it
picked
comes.
up
Uh,
a piece of the bus and you were showing it to
Listen,
people.
I
and
would-
you were like,
if
everyone's
you
like,
read that article,
going on with
I
this?
was the second person on a second seat in that bus, and the 56 or whatever were on that bus. Everybody survived because of my
Except
fast
you.
Are you
action.
saying because
We
you're
could've lost
welcome?
people. If I didn't say that, it said the paramedic says, "Does anybody need medical attention in there?" And I asked around a bit, and then I was like, "No, I think we're cool." So I was like, you can't underestimate what I did there.
Wait.
What
So
did
the
you do?
paramedic asked if anyone needed medical attention. So not only did you blow it by not suing the bus company, you made sure that no one could sue the bus company. Because everyone's like, "No, we're all good. We're all good. We're all fine.
Everybody's good.
Everyone's fine.
I
Just
checked.
drive the ambulance away. I got this." And then you picked up
Yeah.
a chunk of the grill of the
Well,
bus and you put it in your backpack.
Evidence.
And you and you got a $160 Uber to St. Petersburg for no gig. Is that
No,
is that basically what happened?
yeah, it's like when somebody does the rundown, Rachel Maddow does the rundown and then says, "Did I get all that right?" Yeah, that's how it all played out.
Mostly, yeah.
I mean, it was, I could have got on the, canceled the gig right. You know, 'cause I had loyalty to go do the gig, and that's how I am on that.
That's like
Oh,
so
that-
far out. That's so far away from like the
part's
central theme here.
And that part is great, Andy. And the
Yes.
thing that we have to fix, the thing that we really truly have to fix, is that in my opinion, here's what your problem is. You take gigs
Oh no.
from people who are not promoters. They are people who want to hang out with you. They want to hang out with Andy Andrist. So they set up some gigs.
Till
And then
about
when
3.
you arrive, that you realize that these people have no intention of actually putting on a show. They just want to hang out with you for a couple of days. And then there are no gigs. There are no people. There's no promotion being done. The bar is barely aware that it's happening. It's because these people are only focused on they want to be your friend. And if there's one thing I've learned from the wee Scotsman who lives above me, is that that's not how show promotion works. So if that's your idea, people, and you just want to do a show with Andy, fucking make an actual show. Don't just hang out with Andy so that he can smoke your weed.
Well, I mean,
Drop
they don't
him
even
off.
they don't even hang out long
Drop
enough.
off at the bus station at 3 a.m.
But they don't even hang out with him long enough to drop him off at the time his bus is taking off. They drop him off at like drunk hour at a bus station in an unfamiliar town. That's
Hey,
that's
brother.
Yeah, when they're
that's
done
fuck you.
when they're
That
done
was
using him.
Yep.
I'm trying to keep a optimistic attitude, because if I start like, you know, this it sucked, and it's kind of on my, like you said, my fault. I take work, you know, and then shit just happens. Like, oh, I'm supposed to do this gig on this date, and then they have the wrong date. So it's like people don't, you know, check those
Not
boxes.
promoters.
So yeah, yeah, exactly.
So Andy, since we talked to you last week,
Mhm.
have you done any stage time?
Yeah, I had 2 shows.
Oh,
All right,
okay.
yeah. 2 shows, and then the third canceled.
But I think last
Yeah,
Wednesday, didn't you say that show got canceled too?
We did a replacement thing for
Okay.
a fraction of the, you know, the money.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's because they had the wrong date at the club, and nobody would say, oh, well,
Well,
it's our
there's
fault.
that gig was different because that was Damien Figler, correct? And
No,
I think that
Figler's was the middle gig. That was the Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale.
he's an actual he's a comic. He actually does set up the shows.
Yeah, well, and
that was
Kyle
he's
that set
fine.
these gigs, Kyle
It's
that
on
set
both
these
ends
gigs
of
up,
that.
is a comic. I mean,
Yeah.
it just, yeah. So Figler's gig was
We're not
fine.
going to do
and-
that anymore.
It's just the money ain't anywhere close to worth it, especially, you know, when you get involved in bus crashes and shit. You know?
You can't blame the bus crash for a poor booking.
The bus
Come
crash was the most lucrative part of this whole trip, Andy, and you fucked it up.
I haven't fucked it up. I can still go get looked at and build that trail and get, you know, whatever. But it just, yeah.
Yeah, this story could have been I almost made no money in Florida, but by the skin of this bus's teeth, I fucking came out ahead.
Yeah. Damn it.
I mean, it's not Tracy Morgan getting hit by a Walmart truck, but I mean, the bus has some insurance.
He must be a better actor.
That would explain all the movies and shit I've seen him in.
I'd love to see Tracy Morgan with like his leg falling off, telling the ambulance, "No, we're all fine. Everyone,
We're good.
here
I
is
talked to
fine."
everyone. I went
Like,
around to
talk
everyone.
to
I hopped
everyone.
around to everyone.
Everyone's good. You can leave. We're good.
Doesn't
We're
look
just all
like
gonna-
we need an ambulance, motherfucker.
Now, whenever, you know, people say, we'd like to recognize first responders, you know, if you're a first responder, I'm like, you know, I'm the first one up. Now, I
Stolen valor.
I woke up in the accident scene. It took the police and paramedics about an hour to get there. So I was already bandaging. No, I didn't do any first aid or anything.
You're already assessing the situation.
I watched
Well, I was
people-
picking through the broken glass to get my stuff off the floor. Yeah, no nervous breakdown, no panic attacks this week.
Sounds good. I
Yeah,
have
it's
a
better than
question,
crying
though.
at the airport.
If you
At least if I would have known what was when I was crying at the airport, what was to come, I wouldn't have stopped crying. I'd still be on
or
that
kept
changing
going
table.
either.
That changing table would be a water fountain dripping down to the floor. Fucking can't cry enough for what I go through.
What you're saying basically is crying at the airport was the right move. You just didn't know how right it was at the
Yeah, I
time.
didn't-
That was
Oh,
the
man.
correct thing.
I didn't know why I was having panic attacks. Turns out it was a premonition attack.
Oh my god.
He'd be doing this podcast wearing a rain poncho.
Oh, Andy. Okay, I have a
Uh,
question though. Is your wallet still lost right now? Because you have to fly home, and
I
I'm
know.
pretty sure you have to have an
I
ID
know.
for that.
One
no,
hurdle.
you don't. You don't.
You can. I've done it before, obviously. It
They
takes
have
a
a
long
little,
time.
thing. They have a little thing at the airport called the Andy Andrist exemption.
Well, I
The
mean,
Andy Anderson alert.
it sucks because
Yeah.
I don't like being groped or touched or anything. And then that's what happens if you don't have a wallet. You get extra special groping because they
Well,
know
they-
if you don't have a wallet, your nuts are probably hot. That's how a terrorist would do it. I ain't got no wallet, and then they go there and they got their fucking bomb strapped on them, and then they get busted for
Seems like a bad plan.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Why would somebody, why would I go to the airport and say I lost my wallet and then be a security, like they,
Right.
just ask the fucking questions. You don't have to give me a triple pat down, my mother's
what-
maiden name, my favorite dog, my address in high school and shit like that.
If you end up not having your wallet and you're gonna fly, get there early. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
right now. It's super early, and they actually have to call to DC. And I don't know if it's the NSA that they call, but they have to call a department in Washington to clear you. And so it is possible, but you can't be like, my plane's boarding, I don't have my wallet. They're like,
no,
fuck
yeah,
you,
yeah.
you're not going.
Yeah.
But if you get there early enough and you explain it
And
calmly,
then NSA will go, wait, wasn't this guy just involved in a bus crash? This,
Yeah. Next week's podcast will be called "How Andy Figured Out He Was on a No-Fly List."
Yeah.
I guess I don't have to tell you to get there early. Clearly,
Yeah.
you're gonna get your friend's gonna drop you off at
Yeah,
2
right,
a.m.
right.
or a
Hours
5
early.
p.m.
In
flight.
fact, I can just go to there now and
Yeah.
well, I mean, there's getting dropped off early at the airport's a lot different than getting dropped off at the bus station before it
Sure.
opens.
That's true.
Fact.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they don't care if you sleep there for one.
Yeah, it's usually their fault.
Yeah.
Hey Andy, so like you don't have any money or like what's going on?
Well, yeah, that's part of it. Hey, I got a plane ticket tomorrow out. I was gonna come by the show tonight, but
This is him asking if you can comp him into the show, Shaylee.
What where are you? I mean, what's
I'm
going
in
on?
Orlando. I'm right
That's a
behind
big
you.
town.
I'm right behind you. Look behind you. I'm right there. No, okay, it's a different
He's at the
neighborhood, I
pool
guess.
at the hotel you're in.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm at. I'm in Orlando. I ain't by the Magic Kingdom part.
No, we aren't either. We're over off of International Drive, which is it's the second part of Orlando that is thick with tourism.
Mhm.
This is like Blade Runner type tourism, man. It's so built up, and there's shoot machine guns and Gator World and
Oh,
all this
cool.
fucking shit.
Yeah. The state, huh?
Yeah.
That's the tourism for Floridians.
Yeah. Florida's
Shoot
like
guns and see gators.
Texas with better Coke.
Well, you hope
It's like swampy Texas.
you're
Yeah.
paying for it.
And, yeah. So I'm
Oh,
gonna loiter around the Stanhope show and hope that hope I can get in.
I assumed you were coming by tonight.
Yeah.
Listen, if you just hang out around the front of the Stanhope crowd, people will hand you money. Hang out by the merch booth.
Oh no! That's not happening.
Sleep in the fetal
he's not
position by the
panhandling.
line.
He's not panhandling at the merch booth.
Panhandle.
I didn't
Just
even
stand at the merch
panhandle when
booth,
I was
dude.
sleeping in front of the Union Station. Panhandlers, they
Sleeping
you know
in
they
front of
write
the
their
Union Station is
I need to
panhandling.
make
Andy.
another one. Hang on.
panhandlers write their bits out. Panhandlers write a whole thing and make it concise and work at it. And I'm fuck that. It's a lot of work to get handouts.
I love that you think drawing on cardboard is writing out a set
Well,
for a panhandler.
well, it's like I don't want to. I was in a bus crash. I don't know where my wallet is.
Well, that's a good one. Start that. There's two
yeah.
good ones right there. Those are two that I've never heard. I've lost my wallet. I was in a bus crash. Right there, someone's gonna go, "Oh, hey, man, what happened?" And then you tell a quick story, and maybe add in that a bunch of your gigs got canceled and you're stranded, dude.
Panhandle. I love you giving Andy panhandling advice.
Yeah, I think I'm just not gonna book those kind of gigs.
Well, yeah,
going home.
that's number one.
Smart move.
But- You need to figure out what's happening now.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh, Andy.
One of these weeks, I'm gonna be having no problem whatsoever. Maybe.
And we'll have to cancel the podcast.
Right.
What
Yeah.
will we talk about?
Well, Andy,
What's-
Oh, I
Like-
got a question for you.
Oh, go ahead.
How come we didn't hear about this on Twitter with your bus crash? I didn't
Because
see
I
any.
got kicked off of Twitter.
What a kick in the nuts, huh?
Yeah, I couldn't even.
And you can't even let social media know about the injustices that you've been enduring.
Oh,
It's gotten so bad. I have James Inman tweeting on my behalf.
I saw that.
oh.
Well, I told him to just link up the bus crash article,
Yeah.
and then he kept it going. Now he's running amok with it. But
Oh no.
I'll be back on Twitter in 2 days and 14 hours.
What did you do? Can you tell us, or will we get kicked
Yeah,
off?
no, it
YouTube?
wasn't much. I think Erickson made a comment about Franklin Graham, and then somebody with about 3 followers wrote, "Oh, great, another comedian that doesn't." Erickson. What was the tweet that I got kicked off, or you tweeted something and then I replied?
Yeah. All right. So I my favorite thing to do on Twitter is to troll Franklin Graham, right?
Who's that?
Billy Graham's kid, who
Oh,
is
yeah.
he's a complete right wing piece of shit. And my main focus on every tweet is basically that he takes $1 million a year salary from a charity called Samaritan's Purse, which is that's how he makes his money. So
He begrudgingly takes
yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, of course. He does a lot for them, like never do anything. So I constantly troll him, and then I can't remember exactly what I tweeted at him. Something about I know what it was. He tweeted out a picture of him, an old picture of him and his dad, Billy Graham, and he said, "Here's a picture of us. My dad would have been 101 today, but he's gone, and this is us at the Harley Davidson factory with our Harley jackets or whatever." And then I tweeted, "I hope you two are reunited soon." And then some guy responded to that by tweeting, "Oh, great, another comedian who wants someone to die just because they don't agree with what they think or whatever, And then Andy's response to that guy was, "Die, fag."
Well, at least it was funny.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah.
it wasn't.
It was.
He even liked it. The guy I
He
said
did.
to die fag liked it.
Yeah, that guy
hold on a
liked
second.
it.
I believe that Franklin Graham wrote also, we'll be together soon someday.
Yeah.
He said so. I mean, he alluded to that too. You were just pushing it sooner.
I don't think. Here's the thing. I don't think anyone in this case, like everyone. It's funny because the two people who are always trying to like involve themselves in every social media thing, James Inman and Mishka Shubaly, have been pretending to fight over who got Andy kicked off of Twitter. And in this case, I think it was no one. I think that their algorithm, their algorithm will find it if you say die fag. Like that's an easy one for the algorithm to find. And then it finds it, it flags it, and then you're kicked off. Like no one has to complain about that.
I think those two words right next to each other sets up like fireworks go off.
Absolutely. You just can't say that.
It's not like a sentence. Yeah, it's not like a sentence.
And if that's the only thing in the tweet, that's a pretty easy one to fucking red flag. Whoa, that can't be out of context. There is no context. That is the context.
The only thing Andy didn't do in the tweet was add an exclamation point. Other than that, it was exactly.
It would have been 2 weeks, man.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And when I saw the response, I fucking laughed. I laughed. I literally LOL'd. I laughed out loud. Like that was funny. Die fag.
Yeah. It seemed like the right thing to do at the time.
Don't they all? Don't they all?
That's fucking funny.
Yeah. It turns out Twitter's not a comedy show.
Yeah.
Or has a sense of humor.
Also true.
Right. Look for my tweet. I'll be
you'll be back.
I think I'm still off
what day?
Saturday.
Saturday?
Yeah.
All right. That's all right. What
Yeah.
Again, that just means that Issues with Andy on YouTube is the only place people can go for their Andy stories. So I think this is fantastic. I think you should get. I think you should die fag every week
on the internet.
So this Saturday, if you're not following him, follow at Andy Andrus so you can see what happens when the floodgate opens on Saturday in the afternoon.
Yeah, I'll have nothing to say by then. By Saturday. Maybe I'll be up there with Billy Graham.
It's possible. We might all be there.
If that bus lady had driven like a normal person, I should be up there with Billy Graham. But she stayed and took the punishment and stayed in the lane.
Andy, I got a question here. How do you know how well she reacted if you were passed out on Klonopin in the second row?
I was sitting there while everything was being we had about an hour and a half to wait.
Witnesses are horrible about counting things.
Shaylee, in the hour they were waiting for the paramedics to get there, Andy did his due diligence. He reconstructed the entire accident scene. He saw the skid marks. He reconstructed it all. He saw exactly what went down. I'm on board with it.
After he assessed the casualties. First thing he did was assess
After
casualties.
he decided everyone's fine.
Declared everyone
women
fine.
and children out
the
first.
accident, as you said. Yeah, I see it. I see it happening.
Andy acted more he acted more in place of the insurance attorneys by telling everyone, you're fine, an aspirin and you're going to be fine. He's the one who talked them all out of any kind of litigation.
No, I just relayed messages. But I also wanted to keep that spot because, people were panicked and wanting fresh air and everything. And I'm like, fuck that. I'm the guy standing in the doorwell. That's my gig. Getting oxygen.
How is that helping?
You're blocking the exit to the bus, but you're breathing in the air and then breathing it back to the people in the bus. Is that how you?
Yes. The bus driver didn't want the people from the upper deck spilling down, so I kind of said, nope, we can't. Stay on up there. And then so I restored order.
So Andy was also the sheriff of the bus crash.
like the renegade National Guard guy in Earthquake
Yeah,
with a
like I was
rifle,
luck-
just shooting and looting. I'm in charge here. I'm in
Hold down,
charge.
folks.
All
You
right.
just stay on up there.
I
At
want
the top of the
everybody's
bus.
bags.
The
Everybody's
Alexander
bags
Haig
and
of
watches up front.
Uh,
I'm gonna have to go through all them bags, just to see if anything breakable.
The
Yeah.
police are on their way. If anybody has any drugs they want to give to Amnesty right now, put them in this hat. Hand them back up to me. Nobody will.
Oxygen 2 hits for $5. Come on up. Let's just stand in the oxygen chamber for 5 seconds.
I'll blow it into your mouth.
Oh my God,
This is the
Andy.
craziest accident scene.
Oh, wow.
I was like, a hero.
I mean, I don't know how truthful this is because he used a drug, but we know Andy. For him to be the authority figure at the scene of an accident is so fucking funny on so many levels.
Well, I mean, I didn't have a shirt that said authority figure. I just was there.
Well,
handling the relaying the messages and shit. If anybody needed anything,
well, I know that we're all probably picturing the same thing. Is Andy fucking half sleepy-eyed and fucked up on Klonopin, just stumbling around, getting in everybody's way?
Yeah.
no, I had proper dose.
Anyone who's ever
Junk.
seen Andy do his act knows that if you're looking for someone to relay messages and get all of the information out there in
Detail
a
oriented.
desperate situation, this is your man. This is definitely your man.
It's like I trained my whole life
I like
for
to
it.
think that any message you relayed, you started the message and then got sidetracked and then did a different message, and then
No,
Doug
it's
had
a
to come
total-
in at the end and do the actual message.
There's a lot of asides to a message.
I picture this like this crazy bus accident game of telephone where the bus driver sends Andy to talk to everyone, and then he's supposed to tell him to stay on the bus and help us on the way, and he comes back with a pizza order.
Oh, I would have been a hero if I could have got food for everybody.
Wait, Domino's has Strombolis, right? Because we got 3 orders for
Yeah.
Strombolis in the back.
I
Chicken
should've-
wings with some ranch.
I should have ordered Uber Eats and then rode with
and
them.
and then jumped in on the
Middle
ride
of
back.
freeway. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Well, I'm
Don't
glad
go
you're
to
okay,
Florida.
Andy.
Don't go to Florida. That's it. Don't go
Well,
to Florida.
But if you are, maybe
But
go
if
to
you're in
the
Florida
Stanhope-
tonight, go to the Doug Stanhope show. God damn
There's
it.
a guy sleeping out front. Don't kick him. It could be Andy.
That's
No.
right. Look, Egg Lester.
Hey,
Hey.
Hi, Egg Lester.
Can't hear you.
No, I
saw us
got
waving and ran.
Yeah,
I got
she didn't like-
properly. I got the you're in a coma dose of sleeping meds last night, so I'm pretty well rested.
You seem in better you seem to be in a better state mentally than you were at the airport, even having been through this traumatic,
Ah.
obviously injurious
Oh, man.
situation that you definitely went through. And we should definitely talk to our lawyers and re-talk to this bus company because they should be sponsoring our next tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
What, with free
Yeah,
bus rides?
Free bus rides.
Yeah.
Lightning
And a
can't
I got a-
strike the same place twice. Everybody sit by it.
I think I got a free voucher for a ride anyway.
You do.
Everyone go soft.
Buy the ticket, take the ride, but you're gonna have to get off in Fort Myer and get on some other fucking
Hang out at
train.
a rest stop for a while.
Yeah.
They brought 2 buses to evacuate us, and I as I should have gotten in and waved people to on that bus. You 2 up that way or whatever, but
But now you're like Mengele at fucking Auschwitz, fucking deciding who survives and who
Who gets
doesn't.
to
Like,
go where?
you're on this bus. You're on this bus. Wait, twins? You're on this bus for sure.
oh, are you Jewish? Oh yeah. That bus back there is the Jewish bus.
Show me the papers.
Oh, God damn
Yeah,
it.
so I don't know what happened to the rest of them bus people, but I got on that fucking stupid Uber train because I was like, man, right now I'm gonna I'm gonna lose 29 whatever I lost at that point. If I'd have stayed on the bus or whatever, it was just $29. Instead, I'm like, man, how can I lose more money in this situation? Why
What's
don't I
really,
fucking-
what's really fucked up is that I promise you, this guy who booked this gig for you and promoted this gig was like, I'm not saying that he caused the bus crash to keep you from getting to the gig, but I'm saying that when he found out it happened, he was like, sweet.
Yeah,
I don't have to fuck with Andy. I don't have to tell him that I fucked this whole gig up and there is no money. And then somehow you rallied and showed up anyway. And he was like, oh, fuck.
Fuck, I bought
Because-
tickets to
because-
Joker.
Yeah. Because he's like, I can't believe I want to go to the free Grandmaster, what's his name show.
Grandmaster somebody.
Mm.
But this guy was like, fuck, I can't believe the fucking like gumption on this motherfucker still making the gig. Anybody else would have been like, hey, listen, bro, I'm not going to make this gig. I'm stuck on the freeway in the middle of fucking stupid Florida. And
I
you
was on
fucking
the
rallied and
I-70.
made it to the gig. You
Yeah.
never should have.
Oh.
I know. Mm. I've been replaying it over and over. I called Jay Kirshner on his vacation, and he's like, very happy to hear about it. But it's like, I just didn't have, the ER thing and all that shit. It's like, I've already lost money, so then I start gambling more to go. Well, I'm gonna go to ER and document this shit, and then they're gonna say, well, looks like some painful bruised ribs, and then that doesn't,
The truth
and then-
of the matter is that you're not the kind of scumbag who would fucking sue somebody just to make money when you didn't get injured, right?
Yeah, I was hoping I was more injured. I mean, believe me, I want
Or
cracked
he didn't
ribs right
think of
now
it.
really bad.
Here's the thing: even if you would have been injured, they would have gone to the previous podcast and said, "Look, this guy was crying at the airport before he even got here. He was fucking damaged goods before he even stepped onto our bus." That's exactly what the bus company's lawyer would have said. Like,
he
this guy
already
was
had-
already fucked up.
Wait,
And then
You
they
had no
find,
chance to win.
and then they
You had
get footage of me
pre-traumatic
sleeping, and
stress.
then they get footage of me sleeping in front of me.
That's still PTSD. It's just a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, pre and post.
And by the way, a side note, let me just say that I really enjoy the fact that Chad Shank is drinking his Bloody Marys out of a fucking little
Crazy
kid's
straw?
crazy straw.
Yeah, it's actually-
this shows
it's-
the level at which
It's
you are
just a
dealing with
bendy-
little kids. Oh, it's,
It's just a bendy straw, but it bends too much and it's too long, so I just shortened it, but it made it a crazy.
it looks
straw.
like the way Dr. Seuss would do Coke.
Yeah.
Uh, you better have a lot of money if you do coke with these little riches in this fucking straw.
Well,
You're gonna lose a lot.
Dr. Seuss has
Yeah.
some funding.
yeah, Dr. Seuss has fuck you money. Fuck you, crazy straw money.
Let's
he's the
don't.
doctor.
Let's don't. Dr. Seuss smoked his cocaine. We all know that. Don't act like Dr. Seuss was just overdoing rails. He-
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hey guys,
You
I
have
got
to have
I
money
got
to get green eggs.
on the regular.
Yeah, that's not a thing everyone has.
Hey guys, I got to get going because I got to get ready. I got to advance the show for tonight. So
Oh, you
wait,
promote the shows.
Wait.
Hmm.
Right. I think you're just supposed to. Well, first thing you need to do, Shaylee, find out if there's a rap concert anywhere near where the show is.
somewhere in the
Because that's
state.
bad.
Yeah.
That's bad. That's bad.
Well, see, what we do is, a couple hours prior, I call the venue and make sure that they have things in our green room, ticket sales, and all that stuff. And never once have they said, "Wait, is that tonight?"
Who are you again?
And I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Oh, we're closed.
right. Well, it's perfect timing because we're at that bewitching hour, right? At this exact second, in fact. So let's promote anything we have coming up. Andy, bus crashes in the future. Do you have anything? Here's the thing. Wait, I'll even say that I'll jump in right now. Andy has gotten us a booking. Andy and I a booking through a guy that's legitimate. And on December 28th, Andy and I will be in Ventura, California, doing a gig. And we'll have more information about that going forward. And then hopefully we'll have a December 29th gig in San Diego to tag on to that. So there, that's my.
Andy, you should be writing this down.
No, I got it, bro. Dude, I got it. But Andy did book it, and he booked it with Jake Gallo, who's a fine, upstanding person. So I think this is actually going to happen, and it'll be fun. So, who else?
Yeah, just the Twitch stream is going well, and I appreciate everybody that subscribes. So go to my Twitter at HDFatty, and my pin tweet tells you how to use your free Prime to get a subscription. But we're doing like you mentioned before, we're doing like in real life type streams. We're doing dart nights. We actually have right now in town. Joby just picked him up from the airport yesterday. Is when we first started off, we just play with random people that we're watching. But a lot of them were too annoying. We had to shut that down right away. And this dude was the only dude that kind of stuck with us and became our friend. And we, play games with him. Everybody talks to him. He just came in from Australia, a dude that we met on the stream, and he's hanging out in Bisbee for we're gonna go shooting and stuff and play darts and hang out with him while he's here in town. So, pretty cool.
How do they get to your Twitch stream?
Australia is the Bisbee of continents, so that seems appropriate.
It fits in.
Yeah. So Shaylee's telling you to. So, how do we get on your Twitch stream? Go to Amazon.
Twitch.tv/HD_fatty is I get directly to my thing. But if you go to my my Twitter, it's just HD Fatty as my pin tweet tells you how you can use your free subscription that you already have if you have Amazon Prime to subscribe for free to my channel, and I get bucks for it. So thank you.
All right, Shaylee.
Hey, Florida will be done by the time this goes out, but you can go to DougStanhope.com and check out the tour dates. We've got Hawaii coming up, two dates in Honolulu, and we've got New Year's Eve in Vegas, and then Baltimore, Seattle, and another one are already up for 2020. Just get on the mailing list, and that's how you'll find out first. And Andy, I'm glad you're okay. I'll see you tonight, yes?
Yeah, yep.
All right, so.
Right on.
All right.
That's beautiful. All right, everybody, subscribe, like, respond, do whatever you do on YouTube. We love you guys. Our numbers have been steadily improving, and it's fantastic. And we'll keep doing this every week because whether you guys are there or not, it's my favorite fucking hour of my week to fucking hang out with you assholes. I fucking love it. It fucking re-energizes me. I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Later, guys.